Welcome to Power Predictions. Here we discuss fantasy football and provide our professional insight on upcoming football games. My name is Gil, and I'm joined with Azad and Evan.
Azad here. You can hear us from 8 to 9 p.m. every Tuesday night. Excited to be sharing our football knowledge with you, and hope you enjoy this episode of Power Predictions.
Hello, 88.9 The Bridge. My name is Gil McDonald, and I am joined with a guest appearance today, Dylan. He's in my radio class. We do a show live on 88.9 The Bridge at 8 o'clock, but if you're listening it on YouTube, he's going to be a new familiar face that you might see around here. But man, was that week 3 crazy, Dylan? We have a lot to go over. It's going to be exciting. Let's just hop straight into it. Thursday, we got the Bengals versus the Jaguars. It's going to be at 5:20 today. Man, it's going to be a kind of close game, I would say, but Trevor Lawrence
that
has
is an overstatement.
Yeah,
it's not going to be a close game. I think you're just
I was trying to be fair
warming
to the
up.
Jaguars.
I think you're warming up your brain a little bit. It's not going to be that close. I think I got the Bengals winning this one 28-13. That's my score. Bengals win this one 28-13. I said it on the radio live on Tuesday, but this team has really figured themselves out. Joe Mixon, a great running back. It's actually been pretty reliable in fantasy and in real life, just judging based off his play. So week 4 he's projected 19.6 points. But Joe Mixon is a great running back for the Bengals team. Joe Burrow looks great. As long as he doesn't get injured, I think this team can really excel off of what they performed like last year. So I got the Bengals win this one handily on my pick'em.
I agree. Same thing, Bengals. I think you got to be kind of going crazy to pick the Jaguars here. But what I will say with this Bengals team, I like how you brought up Joe Mixon. He has been productive in fantasy this year, having 25 points the first week.
Yeah, that's the one game I was saying he's sort of
rough
consistent.
Outlier with 8.1. And I mean, 10.4 for a running back, you want him to be that RB1. But he's starting to shape into that RB2 because he will have some inconsistent weeks. But on to the wide receivers of the Bengals. Lots of great options, but for fantasy-wise, it's really hard because if you have a guy like Tyler Boyd, who you don't know what kind of week he's going to have because they have mouths to feed like Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, so it's going to be hard to predict. If you have a Bengals wide receiver, who would you start, Dylan, out of those three?
Out of T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, and Jamar Chase, it is a rock fight between starting Tyler Boyd and Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase is the NFL's offensive rookie of the month, and he's performed great. I have seen a few deep balls from Jamar Chase. I haven't watched so much of the Bengals. I know that Tyler Boyd put up exactly his projection on week 3, 14.6, I believe, or 14.3. Not sure what it was. Doesn't matter. Same difference. So if I was going to do this one, to choose between the two, Tyler Boyd isn't really a sexy option to start. So I'd actually go with Jamar Chase here. It's a little bit more high percentage of a bust, but I think the boom will be much higher just because Joe Burrow likes to throw the ball to his old teammate rather than Tyler Boyd.
And with T. Higgins out, this really improves the case for Jamar.
Oh, I didn't even know
Chase.
he was out.
He is out.
Okay, interesting.
But so Jamar Chase, 20.9, 13.4, 20, really consistent for a wide receiver spot. Let's move on.
Especially at a rookie.
Definitely. And I think that's what most people are worried about. But let's go on to the next game. Titans versus the Jets. I think we can just gloss over this. Titans, Derrick Henry is probably going to have another really big game.
I think he might even put up 30 this week. I don't want to...
He's going to help you in your leagues, definitely.
Yes, I have him in my 14-team league, but I do not want to give him high praise before this week because I feel like if I just say, he's going to put up 45 points like he did against the Seahawks, he's going to put up like 5.
Yeah,
so
don't want to jinx it.
I really hope they go to the run game here. The Titans, it only makes sense because A.J. Brown, hamstring injury in week 3. I don't see how you just go to Julio Jones, who is just getting back into the game a little bit after being injured last year. And I don't even know 2 years ago how Julio was. I'm pretty sure he was a top 3 wide receiver at his prime for sure.
Definitely.
But I don't think Ryan Tannehill's throwing the ball well. And I think the consistent and reliable option is for them to go to Derrick Henry. So I'm expecting big points out of him this week. But I won't give him too much praise. I already have used up all of it.
And he is, now that I'm looking at it right now, the highest scoring leader in fantasy football.
Yep.
So if he doesn't get injured, he's going to be one of the best fantasy players probably we have seen in a decade or so. Let's go on to the next game. We have the Browns and the Vikings. 10 a.m. early game on Sunday. Vikings coming off a huge win against the Seattle Seahawks. We were talking about it on live. They just ran all over this defense. Alexander Madison replacing Dalvin Cook really well. Do you think if he is playing, should he be a viable starting option?
I think the Browns actually lock him down because of the defensive front that the Browns actually have. Myles Garrett, I mean, that guy, like, if you watch highlights of him, it looks like he's shape-shifting through the air.
And he's getting after the QB.
Yeah, the guy is getting after the QB. I think they have a great run defense. I'm not sure how many. It would be great for you to check David Montgomery's points against the Browns defense, just to give us a little perspective into how the Browns defense is. But I think the Vikings pull this one out, and it's going to be down to a kick probably, or win by 6.
I agree.
And I got the Vikings winning.
Yeah, I've got the Vikings too. Kirk Cousins.
They look really hot
He's
right
been
now.
really underrated quarterback this year. He has been putting up consistent and really nice fantasy points. If you're a fantasy manager of Kirk Cousins, you really like to see it. And he's just a veteran quarterback who knows how to make the right play.
There's guys at lunch, this past lunch that I was just in at for today, that, I mean, you know Peyton Jordan. He just asked me today, do I start Aaron Rodgers or Kirk Cousins?
Oh,
the fact that somebody even said that is like
Keep
telling you how
going.
well that Kirk Cousins has been playing this year. And I think you got to go Rodgers. I think starting Kirk Cousins in week 4 is a joke.
Yeah.
And Aaron Rodgers has a better matchup. I mean, Green Bay is playing against who? Do you know?
I think, let me check. The Green Bay Packers are playing
the Steelers. Yeah.
The Steelers.
So it's tough. The
That's gonna be
Steelers
another close
on a
game.
down point. They didn't play that well in week 3. And I don't know. I think Aaron Rodgers is better than Kirk Cousins in fantasy.
Yeah.
But as the numbers show right now, he's actually not, because Kirk Cousins is like 4th in QB, so I'm pretty sure.
But
so,
I will add to that, for the Steelers-Packers game, I know Aaron Rodgers, he had a really good game against the 49ers, but I don't know. I just think the 49ers are a good team, but he made it so close where it was like, are you going to trust Aaron Rodgers next week?
Yeah. I mean, he did lead his team down the field. You got to give him credit where it's due.
Yeah,
to
late
win
game,
the game.
he came in.
There were some up and downs in that game. I mean, it all kind of just batters on if Devontae stays healthy. I mean, he almost got injured in the 49ers game. He was down on the ground on a deep ball. But
how about this? Really quickly, let's look at the other side of things. Ben Roethlisberger has had such a poor year. I mean, I don't think he's started in any league I play in for fantasy. And really, the wide receiver core there is it's Deontay Johnson has really solidified himself to be the wide receiver 1 there, with Juju behind him and Claypool.
It's
but
a close third, yeah.
I just like the Bengals,
actually,
lots of
Claypool's probably
players
second
that
right now.
Roethlisberger has to throw to, but none have put up crazy numbers. I would say Deontay Johnson has been the best
and I
out of
think
those
Ben
three.
Roethlisberger is washed. I mean, I got cut off the air last time for saying this, not because of that.
Let's hope the Steelers fans
But
don't come after us
literally,
here.
the Ben Roethlisberger is so bad.
Yeah.
I mean, it's plain and simple. He's bad.
Well, and he's old too,
He's
old. But for
I mean,
NFL standards,
the guy can't play.
I agree.
I
Now,
don't think he can.
I say we move on to going to be like really, really 2 close games, and I'm going to let you choose which one we're going to talk about. Panthers-Cowboys, going to be a close game, and the Cardinals-Rams.
Ooh, Panthers-Cowboys.
That's an interesting one to talk about.
I mean, you could pick either one here.
Yeah, it's a 50-50 flip of a coin. I am
I'd
going to
rather
give it to
talk
the
about-
Cowboys, though,
Okay.
I think. Dak Prescott, 41-21.
I am taking the Cowboys here, too.
Cowboys,
I doubted them last time.
Yeah.
I think I said this maybe, but I won't be surprised if the Panthers win this game.
Yep.
They're both really good teams, and the Panthers, they played okay teams. They haven't gotten 3-0 like the Broncos have, but
Definitely.
I just think the Cowboys are just battle tested. I mean, you play the Bucks, you play, well, not the Eagles. They're not really testing you.
Yeah.
But they played somebody else too. I'm not sure who they played in week 2.
But here's what's scary about
but
the Cowboys.
I just think the Cowboys are more ready for this game.
And you never know what kind of Cowboys offense you're going to get. Are you going to get the
Exactly.
Cowboys versus the Eagles, or are you going to get the Cowboys in previous weeks with like Zeke scoring 4 points?
I think Zeke's going to be a good option in fantasy.
He showed up, yeah.
In that angle.
But I think Zeke, he is kind of touchdown reliant, but they use him when they get to the goal line. Tony Pollard's kind of taken out, and Zeke, just with his physical attributes and abilities, they use him to get and score their touchdowns. Let's go to the Cardinals-Rams. Matthew Stafford, probably the number 1 quarterback in the league right now, arguably.
Yeah, but on the other side of the field, you got to give
Kyler
credit
Murray.
to Kyler Murray. He's an X-factor fantasy player, and for the Cardinals in general.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy, he's putting up 30 points. He should be projected 30 points every week because he honestly can reach it. And there's much worse projections I'm seeing around the league than the Kyler Murray projection for him being projected 22. I think he's going to get around there. I don't think this is a above 30 week because just the Rams defense, like Jalen Ramsey, I think he's going to give. I mean, he gave it to Tom Brady this past weekend. I think he can give it to Kyler. So your boy Kylie Murray, I think he'll put up maybe 24. So
He's been scoring. He's been doing well in fantasy though. 33.56
of course he has.
points.
I just think this Rams team is going to be
it's a really good defense.
A challenge.
So, and I just want to talk about one of his wide receivers, or his most prominent, Deandre Hopkins. He didn't play too well last week, fantasy wise.
He hasn't had a crazy start to a season.
Why do you think that is?
I don't have him in any leagues, but
has to do with something with his relationship, or like his chemistry, I should say, with Kyler Murray.
I don't know. They played great last year, so I don't think that's a problem. I just think it's a slow start.
Yeah, they have a really deep team.
He'll be back. Don't worry. DeAndre Hopkins is debatably the best wide receiver in the NFL. You can go which way. You got Adams here and you got Hopkins here. So, I don't know. I think you can rely on Hopkins. Keep him in the lineup. Yeah. Definitely don't bench him unless you got like guys that are popping off. I don't know who those guys would be. But you also got Christian Kirk on that team, so I put him on my bench, picked him up in my 14 league.
But for who's going to win this year? I mean, not this year, excuse me, this week. I'm giving us the Rams.
I have the Rams as well.
Yeah.
I think their defense is really the decider in this game. And Matthew Stafford can really score points for that Rams offense.
Yeah.
And I don't know if the Cardinals are all there on both sides of the ball like the Rams are. I mean, they're both great. I think the Cardinals defense is awesome, but I don't think it's as awesome as the Rams. I mean, the Rams is the best defense in the NFL right now.
And the Rams, they really established themselves as probably one of the best teams in the league after defeating the Super Bowl champs reigning.
Yes.
And now let's go into next week really quickly. Raiders-Chargers is going to be our final game we're going to talk about on Power Predictions Day. Chargers, Justin Herbert taking down Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. Second year in the league, and he's able to be one of the best quarterbacks in the league and probably arguably one of the better teams in the league in the Chiefs. Super impressive. He was hitting Keenan Allen. He was hitting Mike Williams.
Mike Williams, what a game.
What a game.
25 points.
And would you say you would start both of those wide receivers?
Maybe. I don't know.
Keenan Allen and Mike Williams?
I mean, if you have both, do it. But
that whole Chargers team.
I don't like the idea of doubling up on receivers on teams. I mean, because if your team has a bad week, then both your wide receivers have a bad week. But Mike Williams, I think this is sort of just a one-hit wonder game.
Yep.
I think Keenan Allen's more consistent.
Agreed.
And he gets a lot of receptions. I think he's consistent on points. Justin Herbert, he's a great quarterback, and I just think he's going to keep improving. It's simple for that. On the other side of the ball, the Raiders, Derek Carr, great start.
He's another amazing quarterback.
They're 3-0 right now. And are the Chargers 2-1 or 3-1?
2-1.
3-0. Okay, 2-1. So
I think they had a loss.
Interesting stat here. The Raiders, last time they went 3-0 was in, I believe, 2008 when they made the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
so
that's crazy.
Interesting stat. Doesn't mean they'll make it this year. I don't think they will. They might make it to, I don't know, a divisional game for sure.
Yeah.
Maybe not a conference because you're going to have to go through a team like, I don't know. I don't know how exactly the
quickly
teams work. But yeah, I if I'm going to give who I think is going to win on this, I'm going Chargers.
I'm
with the Raiders.
I'm Chargers, really? That's our first
know.
split of the day.
No. Yeah, I think I went Raiders. I disagree with you here. I just think I don't know. I don't know if the Chargers can continue this hot streak. That's just my
Let me give my Chargers perspective here. I'm saying Justin Herbert, he has proved time in and time out he can deliver at the start, middle, or end of the games, even in the most pressure of situations. Austin Eckler is always a back that he can rely on if he's at the start of the game nervous, throwing away passes, and he has some of the best receivers in the league on his team. So I think he's got all the weapons to his disposal, and I mean he's just really proven that he doesn't look like a second-year quarterback. He looks like he's been in the league for Ben Roethlisberger amount almost. He's just making the right decisions at the right times. That's why I think he's a start it and leave it quarterback on the Chargers, and that's why I'm giving the Chargers the win this week.
Fair enough. I'm convinced by your point, and I may switch to Chargers.
So? I don't know. It's gonna be.
They just in all aspects,
a shootout though. It's gonna be
better.
A really close game.
They all just the Chargers just seem better.
Yeah,
that's all.
But I think that leaves it for Power Predictions this week. Thank you for joining me, Dylan. Helps we couldn't get the schedule down with Evan and Azad. Might see Dylan next week. Might see Evan and Azad, but it's a nice switch to things. Thank you for joining us on Power Predictions. Check the YouTube out. We're posting episodes weekly there. And hope to see you again on another Power Predictions episode.